I'm Thabo Logotodi. I'm a community activist. We have in Lesotho the mining or diamond mines, which are found in the Maluti community in Lesotho. Basically, we thought in 2013 that it was very important that as activists, we mobilize community to fight corruption that we saw prevailing within the mining sector. And we decided to take on such a big mine, such as Letsen Diamonds mine. It wasn't easy, but we had to do it because we felt if we didn't do this, the entire community would perish. We started first by getting a permit from the police around the area, which was obtained without a problem. We organized more than 1,000 people who were loaded in trucks and small vehicles. And unfortunately, as we did that, there were certain individuals who felt that what we were doing ought to have been or ought to be opposed, simply because they were benefiting from the mine itself, from its programs of corporate social responsibility. And this was a tactic from the mine itself to play a divide and rule principle. But fortunately, we obtained the permit and we went there, and the march was very, very successful. Afterwards, when we thought we would get better results from such a big petition, we did not. And you can imagine, more than 1,000 people attending a march is a big number in Lesotho because we are only a population less than 2 million. We decided that the march be repeated after 2 years of big frustration, when there were no results at all. And we repeated the march early this year, 2016, around February, but we were not given the permit by the police. Police started playing some jokes with us, where they said we didn't need any permit from them since the march was going to be held in the rural area. And as we prepared ourselves to get into the trucks and so on and so forth, we were so frustrated when we saw police get people down or alight from the trucks. It was such a frustrating time when the police asked the people, amongst them an 85-year-old man, who were told to sit down or to squat, touch their ears, and jump like frogs. It was such a sad story. But we did not take it lying down. We decided that we're going to take action afterwards, which we did, in fact, although it was almost a year later on. But we are very, very grateful to the fact that they have decided now, the police, to come to the public and to apologize. But we are saying that notwithstanding, we need compensation for such people who were humiliated or whose human rights were cross-violated.
Okay, my name is Susan Marava. I'm going to tell you about the action that our community took early this year in April 2016. So this is what happened. So the community will always submit a memorandum to the SAPS for them to protest. So it happened that during that weekend, the protest wasn't planned. It took place in Emalahleni, which is a city of coal. That's where coal mining is happening. So all the communities around Fosman area, they united, but they never had any meetings or whatsoever. So they united together. They had their small meetings. Those who are the organizers of protests, mostly in our areas. It happened that once they've started organizing, late that night around 3:30 a.m. they started to go around whistling, blowing some whistles, so that most of the comrades who normally are the leaders of the marches went out and started organizing the material that they'll be using to block the roads. So they started from 3:30 until 4 a.m. whereby they blocked the main exits where most mine buses and the other small transport uses the roads. The main road which they normally start blocking, it's at Fosman, at the circle next to the Kwakuka Mall, which is just a small complex. It has a circle, so they will just circle that circle with bricks, big stones, wood, plastic bags with waste material. They'll use those to block the road. Then they'll put tires around 5 a.m. whereby they know that it's time for the buses to go in to collect the workers. As I was woken up around 4 a.m. when I heard people chanting, singing outside, then I woke up. When I looked outside, it was just smoke at the Fosman area. So when I asked one of the comrades, they were like, no, we are blocking the roads because the Anglo-American mines are all over our area and they don't want to hire the local people. And even the power station that is being built, the Kusile power station, is also not employing the members of the communities. So that's why they were marching, but they only sent a memorandum to the police station so that they can have a legal march. They started the march. They blocked all the buses, all the transport. No transport had passed by all the entrances. There are 4 exits. They all blocked them so that no one can pass to go to work. After blocking all those roads, around 6 a.m. they started to call the police to come on board, and the police only came around after 7 a.m. whereby they started to communicate with them and to mediate with the community leaders who were holding the march. So they demanded to get the municipal speaker and one of the spokesperson for the mayor, but only the local municipal spokesperson in the communications was the only person who managed to come to collect the grievance memorandum from the communities. The memorandum was said that the mines and the power station should employ the local people around the communities. If the people are not employed, then the march will continue until something is happening, because they know that when the mine comes in a certain area, a priority employment has to be the people around those areas. So that wasn't happening. So they gave the memorandum and demanded a reply within 7 days, that if the reply is not handed over within 7 days, they will continue with the march, and this time around they will be doing a massive violence action march which the mines and the municipality doesn't like that. So the march was just a peaceful march whereby they wanted their demands to be heard. That's the story.
Hello, my name is Pudalensu from South Africa, Northwest Province in Rustenburg, in a small hidden village called Motlabe, under the Moses Kotane municipality. I can remember on my birthday on the 20th of September 2016. I took a very nice walk just to stay out of the noise of people, and then I went to the bush just to listen to the sound of the birds, you know, the melodies, the sound of the rivers. Just to stay out of the people, just to refresh up my mind. And then I went back home. Later on at night, I also had a very peaceful night up until the midnight. It was distracted by a whistle blow. It happened that by that time, we've been facing an issue of izinyoka. Izinyoka are those people who used to cut off people's electricity cables to sell it for an exchange of money. By that time, they caught 3 of them. It happened that the community was called out to come together and make a decision. When we get there, those people, they made a decision that they need to be taught a lesson. They need to be beaten up very hardly. They need to be brutally beaten. If it leads to death, it's okay. They stood there with those people and waited for the community the whole from 12 midnight up until 6 o'clock the 21st, 6 o'clock a.m. The community came by, and the surrounding communities, they all came by. It was decided that they should be those people so that the youth from the community could see the experience, the danger of doing this thing. They could see that this thing is been upsetting them for a very long time. And once they find them also, this is the same thing that is going to happen to them. They beat up those guys. The first one was caught around 12. He was very, very beaten up. I just can't even come to forget his image on my mind. It's still on my mind. Every time when I talk about him, I could see his face. He was driving a Volkswagen 1.4. The Volkswagen, it was looted and burnt also. It happened that they were beaten up. The police came. When the police came, very surprising part, when the police came, they just didn't stop. They didn't stop the crowd. They went there. The crowd moved away. When they get there, all they said was, "We are tired of these Nyoka people. Kill them so they could learn a lesson. Because full time we arrest them. The next day the department releases them. So we're tired of these people. If you could kill 1 or 2, the people will learn a lesson from it." That's what happened on the story. So what I'm saying to you people, these things, this is something which most of us we cannot see. There is this invisible monster that we cannot see. That is mining. Mining causes us overcrowding. It causes us, those people, they come from wherever they come from. These are the results. People, you know, people used to say, mining must fall. Truly speaking, I'm not supporting that part. On my side, I say, mining should continue, but under the ownership of the communities. It should continue. We must hire those people because we cannot afford to operate a mine. They have money, we don't. So we must employ them. We must hire them before they employ our people. I hope that's a better area. Thank you. That's my story.
Eu sou Stella Malola, sou ativista de Moçambique, trabalho na província de Tete, na Associação de Apoio à Assistência Jurídica às Comunidades, e do trabalho que nós temos feito em Tete, trabalhamos com comunidades diretamente afetadas pela mineração, que são aquelas comunidades que vivem efeitos da mineração, porque nós lá em Tete temos 3 grandes minas que estão em locais diferentes, mas que os efeitos são quase idênticos, que é a mina da Vale, a mina da Jindal e a mina de Isabel. Essas 3 minas têm tido grandes problemas em relação à interação com a comunidade, principalmente na questão da violação dos direitos humanos. Isso porque são minas que, desde que iniciaram, reassentaram algumas comunidades, mas aquelas comunidades que foram reassentadas, a construção das casas não está em boas condições, as casas estão cheias de racha e até podemos dizer que quando chove entra água e qualquer ventania, se for aparecer uma ventania forte, aquelas casas também poderão vir a cair. E também tem a questão de restauração dos meios de vida. Para a comunidade de Moalade, a comunidade de Kateme, que foram reassentadas a 20, 40 quilômetros da cidade, essas comunidades estão a passar sérios problemas de emprego, porque até a terra onde elas foram colocadas é uma terra que não produz, é uma terra sem produção, porque está cheia de pedras. Mesmo eles podendo fazer o esforço de cultivar, eles acabam não conseguindo ter aquela produção que nem aquela que tinham antes na sua zona de origem. E não só, foram deixados em locais que nem infraestruturas não existem, então só foram deixadas à sorte de Deus. E assim que estou a falar, é uma história que está a acontecer, são verdades que estão a acontecer. Tem algumas pessoas que já estão a tirar as chapas das casas nessas comunidades reassentadas de Moalade para poderem vender, outras estão a tirar para poderem voltar no seu lugar de origem. Então é isso que está a acontecer em Tete. Também tem aquelas outras comunidades, como a comunidade de Inchenga e a comunidade de Kapanga e uma parte da comunidade de Bagamoyo, que são comunidades que estão a viver quase na área da Conceição. A mina está lá perto da comunidade e não reassentaram aquelas pessoas. Haviam dito que iam reassentar numa segunda fase, mas essa fase ainda não chegou até hoje. E as minas estão aí a produzir o carvão, a exportar o carvão, e aquelas comunidades estão a sofrer todos os efeitos da poluição, porque quando eles fazem as explosões, o barulho das explosões, a poeira, tudo vai desaguar diretamente na comunidade e a comunidade passa mal. E quando essas comunidades reclamam, falo isso porque a comunidade de Kapanga, no dia 13 de novembro de 2015, fez uma manifestação pacífica em repúdio para que ela fosse reassentada, para que os seus direitos sejam atendidos. Mas exatamente não foi, a manifestação foi quando eles foram lá, pararam na estrada onde dá acesso à mina da Vale, e o que a Vale fez foi chamar a polícia, a FIR, Forças de Intervenção Rápida, e quando a FIR chegou lá começou a balear as pessoas, a chamboquear as pessoas, senhoras que estavam lá, que só iam numa manifestação pacífica, que não carregavam armas nem nada, mas quando eles chegaram lá começaram a balear aquelas senhoras, até algumas pessoas também foram presas. Então são essas questões que estão a acontecer, que até um certo ponto deixam um constrangimento por parte da comunidade. Ações são várias que nós estamos a realizar, de sensibilização, de divulgação da legislação, porque está no direito das comunidades elas serem reassentadas, mas visto que não é isso que está a acontecer, é uma luta muito grande, porque nós acreditamos que aquelas empresas não podem estar a fazer isso só, porque aí tem uma pequena parte que está ligada ao governo, porque eles estão a ver as comunidades a sofrerem, sujeitas à poeira e todos os efeitos, mas não estão a tomar nenhuma ação. Então é isso que até um certo ponto acaba limitando as ações da própria comunidade em termos de reivindicação e também as nossas ações como sociedade civil. E por aí eu paro com essa história para poderem perceber um pouco daquilo que acontece na província de Tete. E obrigado.
My name is Letabela Pai from Mokotlo. I'm an activist from the mountains of Mokotlo. Okay. You know what happened in that morning of we organized a march. The forum organized a march for the community support to petition the mine. The morning of that day, I received a call from one of my friends saying that hey, I heard that the minister had ordered the police to stop that march. So I didn't believe him because he was far away from Maselo. Around 11, I think, we were gathered around by the road because these trucks from town, they will pass through our village, then they will pick us up and go to let's say. As we were waiting there, I received another call that some other guy telling me that hey, there are heavily armed police presence in town, and we don't know what is happening. But we had the trucks have led the town, the bigger town, the big town from we have two towns, the Mokhotlong and the Maplane one. So the march started from Mokhotlong town through to Maplane. So when these trucks got to Maplane, they were stopped by the police. Then I received another call that hey, the police have stopped these trucks. So we had to get into taxis to go back to town. When we got there, we saw what they told us. The heavily armed police with guns, these big guns. I don't know what they call them, SRLs, and these sticks they use to beat people. When we got there, it was when these people, the police were offloading the people from the trucks. What we saw what we saw there, it was so sad. Imagine an 8-year-old man being made to forklift. You can imagine looking at that. And the sad part about that is that I'm looking for the word. The sad part about that were some people, part of the community, who were laughing. You can imagine. We are helping the community, but some of our community members are laughing at these people who are made to walk like frogs, holding their ears. You can imagine that, and this is for them. And they are saying, "Hey, we told them the police are going to beat them," and they did not listen. How could you say that? That's what we witnessed that day. And that's all I can say. I am coming emotional now. I know some of these things, I don't know.
My name is Malvin Mudiwa. I'm 52 years old. I'm a human rights activist. I work with the Marange Development Trust, Marange, in Zimbabwe, where I come from, in Manicaland province, in Mutare district, and in the Chiadzwa, where ZCDC, Zimbabwe Consolidated Diamond Mining Company, is doing diamond mining. They were mining towards the dipping tank and a community borehole that serves 3 villages. The borehole serves 3 villages, and the dipping tank serves 6 villages. As a result, I think in total there are 1,500 cattle which depends on this borehole. So because of a serious nature of the issue, the communities, they ask us of what action to do. We advise them that they can also voice as a united community, more so if they can use women, which what they did. So they ganged up women from about 3 villages. They went and blocked the mining operations. And it was a sensitive issue to the fact that the mining manager had to come
as an emergency to meet the communities and find out what is the problem. And so when he came, they had a meeting with the communities. They were so emotional to the fact that even he could see how sensitive is the issue, because when you are denied the right to water, you are denied the right to life. And as a result, they agreed that the mining is not going to destroy the borehole, and they are not going to destroy the cattle dipping tank up until they find an alternative. And so they had to communicate with all affected villages which use that dipping tank, so that they will come to an agreement of a central point where there are no deposits of diamonds. And also, strategically, this borehole serves, it was centered on where it was to service all three villages. So it was central. So by removing it, which means it's going to deprive some other families. So they had actually agreed to drill 3 boreholes, 1 for each village, so that there won't be any more complaints. So it was a very successful demonstration, and sometimes it's very necessary for the people to speak their voice as a united force. So I salute the communities. So that's my story.
My name is Abonfes Chalamumba. I'm coming from Zambia and I work for Center for Environment Justice. And precisely Zambia, I'm coming from a place called Kafue district. And Kafue hosts the largest, or the water body of Zambia. One of the largest, let me not say the largest. And I'm proud to belong there. And I'm also an activist. And if you look at my name, it's Chishala. Chishala means simply a guy who speaks last. And I happen to be given the opportunity to speak last. So you buy the wisdom from many speakers who've spoken before you. So I'm very proud to do that. So, and it gives more to life about the passion of service to humanity. And that's the drive. So what I'm gonna share to you about is my activism stories. And why I say my activism stories, because I'm part of the communities that move and drive the actions. I also work for Center for Environment Justice, and I mean an organization that pushes a lot of work with the communities, empowering communities, especially bringing the community to the level of right of engagement and participating in a lot of negotiations to benefit especially the mining communities. Several activism, but I'll share one interesting one because it set the pace on how Zambia civil society and the activists would take the next step or the next footing. Historically, we have had unbalanced leadership in terms of extractive or the mining decision-making processes by our political leadership. And all this, you realize that one of the key things that comes into is where the location of such an investment or such a community or environmental stress project can be located. And you find that political interest overrides the decisions of, regulatory bodies, as well as plays a blind eye or unrealistic eye to human life. You know? And us as activists, as communities, we realize that one of the interesting one was to highlight the Lower Zambezi. Lower Zambezi in Zambia is the Lower Zambezi Basin, hosts one of the largest or the richest ecological basin in the world, and supports a lot of human life and other lives. And that's where a mining was proposed. And this was against all odds. The government side, we're going to put it there. And the communities, the host communities and the interested communities rise up and took action, first by one protesting impulsively. You have just said they have decided to do so. As activists, you ran the impulsive one. The impulsive one brought up about a lot of arrests. a lot of arrests brought about a lot of publication about the story of saving the Lower Zambezi, and it was now called Save the Lower Zambezi. And I'm proud to share that story because I was one of the people and the community that I come from, who led the campaign. And this campaign brought about, because one of the challenges we had was after the arrest, the minister had already authorized, and we realized that the standing opportunity was a legal route. And as community, we didn't have so much human resource with a lot of capacity to run a legal race. But we were so proud because we took it upon. And after we got to court, we managed to stay the execution. So the court said the mining cannot go ahead. We need to revise if it's the right decision. And there was an appeal. But in this whole process, one of the key actions that has come out, in the activism, is that the government has decided to revisit the Zambia Environmental Management Agency Act to say, where are we going wrong? Because every other time we're settling up these extractive industries, it seems there's a huge population going against the decision. And you find that the decisions of the ordinary community members who suffer and pay the price of these massive adverse impact on the environment that the extractive industry subject us to are ever crying about. So what can we do? So they have taken up that route. I think for us it's a win because we've taken leadership to account. And this is for the first time in the history. And one of the amazing things is that the case is still going on because they have appealed. And we've also pushed because we have said, okay, now we're going to set precedents. So if you decide as a minister, you'll be also brought in the docket as a minister in your individual capacity to come and answer in your capacity. So we're now taking leadership to account, even in their individual capacity. So when I'm sitting as a minister or in a political privileged position or leadership, I should know that the primary people I need to save is the ordinary people. And their voice matters in the process. So if they have said no, you must take time to reason with them and say why, and agree with them, than deciding and throw upon. Another interesting one, just a quick one, is the Kafue steel plant. It's the only steel plant we have in Zambia. And one of the most interesting part about it, it was set right at the center of communities. You have got in Kafue district, you have got a community on the other side. It's Kafue estates. We've got Shikoswe community. We've got the Zambia compound. All these are locations and communities. And these communities, they rose and said, no, this position, you don't even need to be a scientist or an environmental expert to know that where this investment is being put, it will stress the community, it will be pushing. And against all odds, that also the government decided otherwise, you see. But what is more unique is that the vigilance the community has remained up to, where any other thing, there's an engagement. I'll tell you, one of the projects we did with the community was to see how accountable is Kafue Steel Plant in meeting the environmental obligation. And imagine what we discovered, there's only a safety and occupation officer, and they don't have an environmental specialist. Through the engagement, they were able to send one staff to go and study environment. I think that's a mark. And we are happy that we are able to push that. But there are many challenges. One, the communities we still uninformed. We still lack coordinated platforms. We still lack strong consolidated actions that are able to move at a national level. Sometimes they are so small. Sometimes they are so, pointing in different directions, but talking about the same thing. So I think those are challenges that we need to address, as well as to bring in the other issues of gender in the campaign, issues of youth, issues of health. I think those are very key, but now they don't come out very pronounced. We just talk more extractive, but we need to bring them to the conversation. And I think that's amazing. That's amazing part. Lastly but not the least, I'm happy to be an activist. I've chosen it as a way of life, and I love it so much. Thank you.
My name is Zake Unachi. I came from Zimbabwe in Malikarin province in Chimanimani district. I work with the South Community Trust. I want to tell the story about the water pollution in Sawe and Ozi rivers. The mining companies in Chiazwa, who are mining diamond in Chiazwa, are polluting water in the Sawe river to the extent that the community was complaining about what they were doing. After pollution has taken place, the community organized themselves and gathered to confront the mining companies. Very unfortunately, the mining companies were not able to meet the communities, of which the communities decided to approach the courts to help them for the mining companies to stop polluting Sawe and all the rivers. When the community gathered, they selected at least 5 people who filed their papers to the courts with the help of their lawyers and the zeller. So they approached the court. When the court approached it and the papers were filed to the court, the mining companies also dropped the charges, citing that the community itself should not actually sue the mining companies, does not have the powers to sue the mining companies, but the environmental management agency is supposed to do so. However, the community also filed challenging the companies to the Constitutional Court, which actually judged in the favor of the community, citing that environmental management agency was actually in support of the community. Then the case was taken to court. Before the case was heard in court in July this year, we met with the mining companies and their lawyers, and the community with their lawyers on a round table with the mining companies, Mbada, Marange Resources, Anjini, and the DMC were represented by their lawyers. However, in the meeting, we agreed that the mining companies should stop polluting, and they agreed with us, and some of them confirmed that they have been polluting before, of which they promised to stop. But Anjin itself dropped the charges, saying that it wasn't discharging waste in Sawe River and Ozi River, of which the case of Anjin is still to be heard to the court currently. Point to be noted, Anjin itself did not join the consolidation of the mining companies in Chazwa, of which Anjin is actually acting out of the law of the country. Another issue is that all the mining companies who are mining in Chazwa are operating without an environmental management, environmental impact assessment, which is supposed to be proved by the Environmental Management Agency, of which is a problem again, which the community is also to take a legal action against them. So I thank you.
I'm Zanele Msibi. I'm from Mpumalanga, Wheatbank. I am an activist. I'm working with the community who are affected by mining. Our action plan, we have organized a march against the Shanduka mine in a Middleburg, Highveld region in Mpumalanga. We as women, we went to the mine and do the picketing to send the message to the mine owners about the issues that they are doing, that they are happening around our communities. First of all, our houses are cracked. The vibration is disturbing the graves because they've got a lot of cracks. Another thing that we made it clear to the mine owners is that most of the women, they are not hired in the mine. So we also give them the memorandum, then they reserve it. Then we tell the mine owners that our vaginas are not our servers, because what they normally do is that when we are a female, we are looking for a job, they will usually exchange employment with sex. So what we are saying, they must stop doing this because it's not good for us as women. We don't feel comfortable. That was the story that I want to share with you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Solomon from Zambia. I'm an environmental activist working with Extractive Industries Transparency Alliance, in short, EITA. I would like to tell you a story regarding the mining activities in Northwestern Province. The key problem which has arisen from there is the issues of displacement, especially in Kalumbila area, where we found that a lot of households have been displaced and their livelihoods have been, I would say, turned upside down. But one key action which we did with the communities, we were able to organize community members and come up with groups that they can also benefit from these investments, even if we are late, but at least we can find ways of communities to benefit. And one major thing which we did, like I've said, was to organize the community members where they came up with groups. And among these groups, about 20 groups, and 5 of them, as I'm speaking right now, they've started dealing with the mine, because we thought the communities have to benefit. So we engaged the mine and the communities, where under the CSR program, the mining companies said they can harvest load for the communities to also benefit. And this has been happening through vegetable farming from these groups, supplying to the mining town as well as the mining canteen. There are also issues of sewing clothes among the women, where they're able to supply the uniforms for school going children, and as well as chicken rearing, which is currently happening. They also supply to the mining canteen, I mean. So from our side, we would say it's a plus in that we've been looking at it from the aspect of sustainable beneficiation from these investments. Yeah, so that's my story on that.
Hi, my name is Nizar and I'm a community activist from Tanzania. Today I want to tell you a story from Bahi community, the community that I work with. In Bahi, uranium was found, and where uranium was found is close to River Bubu, and the community in Bahi depends on River Bubu for rice farming, fishing, and livestock keeping. When we spoke to the community, they shared that they have little information regarding the uranium, and they had informed us in August 2008. They were called in a meeting in Dodoma. They were called by 3 organizations, and in that meeting they had 150 participants, and in that meeting the organization shared about uranium and its effect to the community. After the meeting, community had to vote. 130 people voted yes, 130 people voted no for uranium mining, and 20 people voted no for uranium mining. And there were some issues that they raised, that they were worried that if uranium is to take place,
they will be forced to move to their home, from their home, to leave way for the mining to take place, and also their animals will not have a place to have food, and there will be no cultivation as they depend so much on the rice agriculture farming. Later, there was so much pressure from the NGO and from the community. They had put a lot of pressure to the government, and the government, as a result, had to raise a statement that there will be no mining, uranium mining in Bali. So that was really great for the community. They were able to influence the government.
My name is Matapelo Tobejani. I'm coming from Limpopo province in Sikukuni region. We have started our organization as young people who were concerned about what's happening around our communities. We started we were the young people who were concerned, and then we started to organize ourselves from different communities as we are affected by the mine activities that is happening. So with the help of the other activists who have been there in our communities, we managed to get some of the information to see that our action plan will work for the community's benefit. So what we did is that we started first by going to door-to-door campaigns, and then trying to find out issues that are happening around our villages, and trying to get a mandate from the community. And then we also told the community to say, okay, if you agree about the marches, you have to write to sign you do a signature. So we managed to get many signatures from different villages as we work from different parts of the villages. So we get them, and then thereafter we went to the municipality. I remember it was a week after that, we went to the municipality to apply for a gathering form, and then we had some difficulties to get the form and the person who was responsible for that for the admin. So that day things didn't go well, because we went back home with nothing. And then what we did is that we get help of the information we get from the R2K, Right to Know, and the FXN people. So we used that information on our advantage, because I remember the following day we went to the municipality, and then when we get there, we do a picket. We were 15, we picket to the municipality that they don't respond to our demands, and then they are like our rights are being disturbed. Yeah. So the following week we went again to apply for a march, and then luckily we got a permission to come to a Section 4 meeting. And then during the Section 4 meeting, we had some difficulties, but as we were also working with people who were being through the process before, they also helped us and said, okay guys, it might happen that the march won't happen, even though they've given you the permission to march, because the last march was in 2004 in our area about the mining issues. So we went there, it was 2014. Mm-hmm. So all along these years, there were denied marches. In the morning of the marches, they were being given a court interdict, so they don't march. So we managed to get the march, and then during the night when they were doing they were alerting all the communities that we are going to take a march tomorrow. Also, the mine people, they also tried to divide the community by going around and tell the people that anyone who can participate on that march will be jailed, will be security guards, will be taking them to prison. So, but with the help of the solidarity that we have to other communities, they help, and then they came in numbers. Not only one community was affected, because the mine was only focusing on the community we came from. They didn't know that it's from different communities. So we managed to peacefully do our marches and deliver the memorandum to the mine management, and it was success. And after that, we have been noticed by everybody in the community, and it's working for us, because we even engage with the people who own farms, those who lost their farms, the herdsmen, the owners of the livestock, because they are losing their livestock as a result of the mining activities. That is the action that we did. Thank you.
Sou Isaac Antônio Sampanha, vivo em Tete, em especial no distrito de Moatize. A minha atividade que eu fazia, eu era oleiro, fazia o fabrico de tijolos há tempo, toda quase minha vida. Só que quando aparece a Vale, apareceram com uma boa política. A política que eles trouxeram é de nos tirar nas áreas onde nós fazemos atividade e nos indemnizar. Eles começaram com o processo de levantamento, quantos trabalhadores tinham, e que material usavam. Então disseram que depois de fazer o levantamento ia nos indemnizar. Só que o que aconteceu não foi isso. Eles, depois de nos fazer o alistamento dos nossos nomes todos, e passou alguns meses. Depois desses meses, então sabe-se muito bem, uma pessoa quando fica 1 mês ou 2 meses sem fazer nenhuma atividade, sempre cria problema. E o problema que aconteceu é que já as pessoas já estavam sem nenhum dinheiro, e começamos a exigir. À medida que nós íamos exigir, lançavam para o governo. Quando fôssemos para o governo também, por sua vez, o governo também lançava para a Vale. Então fomos ver que, afinal de contas, aqui eles estão nos fazer assim, é uma palhaçada, estão a brincar conosco, porque nós estamos parados sem fazer nenhuma atividade, enquanto eles estão fazendo atividade. Então achamos melhor mandar parar a atividade deles, para ver quem podia sentir também dor, ou ir também para sentir o mesmo dor, como nós também estamos a sentir. Então quando nós fomos ali, então organizamos o grupo e fomos nas instalações da Vale, onde que nós mandamos parar, e a Vale, por sua vez, como estava conexo com o governo, chamou o governo e apareceu a polícia FIR. Quando chegou a polícia FIR, veio ter conosco, nós explicamos que nós não estamos para vandalizar, nem para destruir, simplesmente nós estamos a exigir o nosso direito, porque eles nos mandaram parar e até agora não estão a dizer nada. Então, dali, quando eles disseram que é para não, tá bom, quando é assim nós vamos começando, depois de uma conversa, um diálogo entre nós e a Vale, então disseram que tá bom, nós vamos começar a pagar, mas primeiro vai ser os camponeses. Então, depois de 3 meses, começaram a pagar os camponeses, mas os valores que eles pagavam foram valores insignificantes. Levava as pessoas de machibombo, chegava no banco, dava envelope que não podia abrir, estávamos a ser escoltados com a polícia. Então a pessoa abria em casa, apanhava 1.000, outros 500, outros 60, outros 2.000, dependia. Então com aquilo as pessoas ficaram, como sabe, o maior número eram velhos, e dali quando chegou também a nossa vez, nos levaram, fomos para lá no banco e nos deram também em mão 60 mil. Então depois de nos dar, nós começamos a dizer, tá bom, nos deram esses 60 mil. Que critério usaram para nos dar esses 60 mil? Uma vez ou outra nós fazemos mais que isso. Então eles disseram que não, depois de dar todos, nós vamos indemnizar. Tá bom, nós ficamos ali e por sua vez, quando fomos para lá, também sempre era julgado, não, espera, não, vamos falar com o governo, não. Então, quando também organizamos outra manifestação, bloqueamos a minha feira e todas as instalações da Vale, onde ficamos 3 dias ali e tudo parado. Eles, por sentirem que tudo estava parado, e acabaram também de chamar a polícia, onde veio a polícia, nos levaram, como tinha arma, nós não tínhamos nenhuma arma, não tínhamos nenhuma defesa, nos levaram até a cadeia. E eu com os meus colegas, meu presidente Ref e um outro, Chaibo, ficamos na cadeia 6 dias. Depois de 6 dias, então quando fomos ao tribunal para sermos ouvidos. Chegaram no tribunal e acusaram-nos a dizer que nós termos vandalizado carros deles, termos dado palavras de injúrias. Só que quando chega lá, quem fez tudo foi o governo, a polícia. Quando chegamos lá no tribunal, e quando esse foi solicitado a Vale disse que não. A pessoa, tá bom, ali havia muita gente, mais de 500 homens. Como é possível nós identificarmos que é tal fulano que me insultou? Ali não se conseguiu se identificar. Talvez de palavra de insulto pode haver, como havia muita gente. Então lá o juiz questionou. Tá bom, mas esse nome que estão aqui, como é que apareceram a dizer que esses fulanos foram esses que vandalizaram e insultaram? Então quer dizer que não, até ali nós também não conhecemos. Só que o nome que nós conhecemos é o único nome do Sr. Ref. Então esse nome de certa também nós não conhecemos. Com isso foi-se ver que, afinal de contas, o governo ou a polícia é que tinha feito aquela manobra de pôr nossos nomes a contar que nós fizemos o vandalismo. E o tribunal disse que não, aqui não estamos a ver matéria. Então dali fomos soltos, absorvidos porque não tinha matéria. Saímos. Daí começou o diálogo. O diálogo, fizemos umas 4 rondas. Depois de 4 rondas também não houve acesso e fizemos mais outra manifestação. E essa manifestação, dali quando nós já tivemos o advogado. Então arranjamos o advogado, consoante o advogado estávamos a tratar o assunto e o assunto até agora metemos o processo no tribunal e até agora o assunto está parado. Como sabe o governo moçambicano, para tudo trabalha-se com política e tudo está assim. E nós até agora estamos a exigir, mas nada que se sabe. E por sua vez o governo próprio acabou arranjando mais um outro grupo para vir nos vandalizar, onde que apareceram em casa, me bateram, a dizer que quem está a fazer tudo é o Isaac, então vão vandalizar a ele. Está a vir a me agredir em casa e mesmo assim também o processo está no tribunal, tudo está parado, mas mesmo assim nós não paramos com as nossas manifestações ou reivindicações. Estamos sempre a reivindicar e até quando não se sabe, mas o nosso objetivo é de nós sermos restituídos daquilo que nós fazíamos nas nossas atividades. Por enquanto é isso. Obrigado.
My name is Elton Tobejani. I am from the region of Skikuni in Limpopo Province, South Africa. I'm coordinating communities affected by mining in that region. I'm going to share a radical action, a story about communities that we're fighting for what they believe is their right. It happened 2 years ago on continuous basis. The struggle as we speak now has been suspended for some negotiations. What happened is that through negotiations, communities affected by Marula mine, of which Marula is mining platinum as a mineral. Through negotiations, that community managed to secure an agreement with the mine as part of their beneficiation to sell the other mineral, which is chrome in this regard, so that they can share the proceeds of that equally amongst the household. So what happened in this regard is that it is alleged that the chief and some business people within the villages were enriching themselves in the expense of the poor. And the families, as a result of that, they were left destitute. So they decided that enough is enough. They have to put a stop to that and put for a change. So they start blockading the roads, the access roads leading to the mines. and they burned some houses belonging to the accused, and including the chief there. The public order police, they came as usual, but it wasn't much that they could do with the situation to restore the order, because the community, they were determined to push for change. So a couple of people were arrested as a result of that. Property belonging to the mine were also destroyed to ensure that there is no stock or operation taking place. At first, the mine was reluctant to engage with the communities because they believed it was a community issue versus another faction. But because that was impacting on their revenue, they decided, no, we have to sit around the table in an effort to seek a solution to the problem. So what happened, because one of the demands was that the villagers were demanding employment, a local employment. So the mine agreed, and then they were employed. 60 people from the locals were employed. In relation to the chrome selling matter, the mine put a stop to the sale of the chrome. So as we speak now, they are piling it on site up until such time that the community and the mine, they agree on how they must run the sale, including the trust fund. That is the story. And I think it's a very radical one. It showed determination from the side of the community to put for a change. I thank you.